What's going on, everybody? Ty Bartellin with another edition of Coach's Corner. Again, Heartland Christian Community is the one we're tailing over to, this time on the boys' side of the court. Heartland Christian boys basketball coach Josh Scott joins me. Coach Scott, practice is starting. I mean, I know basketball is it's the lifeblood of Heartland Christian boys sports, right? It's what we wait through the fall mostly to get to, right? It's the big sport. It's the one, it feels like the whole community gets up and gets excited for it. How are practices going so far for you?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. The practices have been really good. We're early on in here. This is only our third practice that we finished so far, and I think the kids are working extremely hard. I know that's kind of coach speak, but that's actually what we're hanging our hat on this year is how hard we're going to play and pressure, and on both sides of the floor. And we've been blessed with 29 kids to come out for basketball this year, 9 through 12.
Wow.
And so we were able to take and create basically a Froshmore team that has all but 16 of our kids on a separate dedicated time and different gym. And so we were able to get a ton of reps, which is new for us. It's even kind of affected how I've had to coach and practice plan because I'm not used to having smaller numbers in the gym, which is great. And it's been a really awesome thing to see unfold. So.
I know you lost your scoring leader in Luke Reynolds from last year, but you do return two of your scoring leaders that had double digits too, number 2 and number 3, and Will Morgan and Jake Walker. What's the excitement like going into this season? I know you guys right around 500 last year. I mean, I know that's kind of like a crossroads point now going into this season, so I'm sure there's some excitement with what you're returning and what you guys have a foundation-wise to go off of from last year.
Yeah. Those two, Luke is always the kid that's tough to lose because he played a lot of varsity basketball, a ton of minutes. And then losing Drew Walker, same thing. He was a kid that was a staple in the program for 4 years. And Jake Kling. So those are the 3 kids that we did lose. But I think that just having that foundation set and having 2 seniors like Jake and Will that can come in and compete and just show the younger guys how it's supposed to be done. And being leaders that way, and then just also their performance too. Their guys we're going to rely on heavily, but I think that they're definitely ready to go.
You look at this team this year too, and what you have returned. What are some of the things you guys need to kind of see play out this year for you guys to have a successful season?
Well, we've got to do a good job coaching a lot of different guys. We need depth. We feel like we're developing that now, and we have it. We need some younger guys to grow up really quick. We had some kids that did not come out this year that we were kind of hoping for to play big minutes. So we have some younger guys that are just ready to step in and play. And those guys are going to have to be coached up well by us. And obviously it's something we're looking forward to, and something we're definitely not afraid of is playing. We have up to 4 freshmen dressing varsity and playing potential big minutes. And some other guys that really didn't play a whole lot of varsity last year. But we look to play a lot of guys because of how our style of play. And I think that we're just going to have to, it's going to come down to us. I think we have the kids here. It's just going to be the pressures on the coaching staff this year, for sure.
Coach Lib kind of mentioned too on the girls' side, with you guys being an independent type school with an independent schedule, there's pros, there's cons to it too. Sometimes there could be challenges in getting games. You got to play who you can play. Looking at your schedule though, I like some of the competition you guys have. You're dipping into the EBC as well. How are you feeling about the schedule for the Lions this year and in testing your guys?
I feel good. I think there's a couple guys in this room that would sitting here with me that would like me to schedule even more. The bigger schools. I got asked about Canfield. I've got asked about Poland. I mean, these guys are ready to take on challenges, and we know we're underdogs there, but that's okay. That's the beauty of where our culture is here at Heartland, is that we know that we're here to glorify God with what we do, and that the winning isn't always the first priority. And obviously we care a lot about doing well and having success, but our guys just want the challenge, and I love that they don't want to shy away from any challenge. And when you talk West Branch, Minerva, Salem, Badger with Duncan Moy, you go right down the list of all these different teams that we're going to see, and our guys are ready for it. They're excited about it.
I mean, for a coach and for the number of teams that you've coached, you see every type of player, every type of personality. But I know in your heart and your mind, it has to feel good when you have kids that are coming up to you saying, "Bring on the challenges," and I want to take that kind of next step.
Yeah. The thing is I can still, I'm old and I can remember, not in the it's the distant past, I guess now, but there was a time where those names on that on that schedule, those schools wouldn't even have thought about playing us because it wouldn't have been a good enough game. And I think that in itself is all credit to our kids, and how hard that they've worked and, developing that kind of, again, just, yeah, it might be a game that we're a huge underdog in, but they know we're going to play hard and we're going to compete and, have that kind of respect that we can even get on their schedule. So I think that's definitely kudos to all of our boys and how hard they've worked.
I want to give kudos to you, sir, because I think you're a perfect example of someone that just shows if you can give care and love to a program, you can do anything and anything is limitless. What's your secret and what's the advice you give to younger coaches that are maybe looking at some of these programs that are looking for a skipper, looking for someone to take the reins? What's the advice to some of the younger coaches in that world?
I don't know if there's any secret sauce. I feel like that at the end of the day, you have to have kids in order to compete. You have to have, they say it's the Jimmy Joes and not the X's and O's. And I kind of believe that, but I think we talk a lot about, especially in the off-season player development. And then, for me, it's just, they have to know that I care, and that they'll, I would do anything for these guys. I would hope that they would all agree to that. And then that hopefully trickles down, to the rest of the program. Something we're really focusing on now is just having to mesh so many different age levels now, because we do have a really talented freshman class and we've got some other younger kids that are sophomores and juniors that are going to be so brand new. So these seniors and older guys that are coming back and have some experience, being able to welcome them with open arms too, and understand like, hey, you're part of our team and we're going to do anything that we can for you to help you succeed. And it's always, it's the person over player. That's an FCA thing, but we really buy into that. I think that's the biggest thing is just, when kids want to play, that's exciting. And you just hope and pray that you're doing something right. When you see 29 guys on the roster, to me, it's just like, man, I'm so blessed to know that these kids, this many kids they want to be part of what we're doing. So I think that's really all of it, is just showing a lot of care, knowing that none of it comes easy, that it's going to take hard work and there's going to be hard truths, but it's out of love. So
I love that person over player mentality too. And I've seen a lot of programs have a lot of success with that as well. You look at the opportunities that you guys have given your kids too. You went to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse last year. You're going back there this year. What's that like for the kids too? I mean, I know that wasn't always a thing going around when any of us were in high school, right? It's kind of a newer thing, it feels like. So this is a cool opportunity for the kids though, no doubt.
Well, I tell these guys all the time, like between Huddle and the filming and YSN and the Cavs experience, there's so many things going on today that I would have just killed to be able to be part of when I was in school. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big part of it, is that we got invited back, and we said, right away, it was no hesitation. Yes, we'll go back. It's something those kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives. And, fortunately last year, Drew Galt hits the corner three to knock Badger off. I mean, storybook ending, just to get to be on the floor, but then go out and have a competitive game and against a really well-coached and solid team. It's just, it's special. And those are the type of memories you're trying to, create. You're trying to create, the competition, but also just that's something those guys can hang on to for the rest of their lives. And they're going to be able to go back and talk about.
Well, not that the community needs kind of like a selling pitch to come out and support you guys. I mean, it's one of the biggest supportive, I think, communities around too. They're going to come out to games. But what's that Heartland Christian brand of basketball going to look like? Are we going to see much of the same, or are we going to see maybe a little bit of tweaks here?
You know what? I think it's going to be a lot different than what people are used to. And, it's even during the Berdovich years there, we talked about how fast we're going to play and how hard we're going to play. This group, we're trying to, I don't know if we'll ever get there, but the goal is to try to kind of be like Jeff Brazil's McDonald teams back in the day, where we are constant pressure. We are full court. We're 32 minutes, 90 feet. We're trying to play that style and that brand because we aren't the biggest team. I don't know if we're the quickest team. but we definitely work hard, and we have a lot of guys that can go in there and contribute. So, that's it's kind of, to me, pushed our hand, but it's also my favorite way to play. And I think the kids are kind of buying into it too. It's something that's fun to coach. It's fun to watch. You know, probably, lots of points that we're going to give up some. We're hopefully going to score some. But it's exciting basketball.
Well, we're definitely going to cross paths during the season, Coach. I definitely am excited to see what you guys have in store for this season. I'm excited to catch a couple of Lions games. We here at YSN are rooting for you. But before I let you go, Coach, it's been kind of a running theme I've been doing with the coaches, and I want to ask you the same thing because I love basketball, one of my favorite sports. I'm always excited for this time of year, excited to call games as well. Where did the love for the sport of basketball start for you? Do you have a pinpoint moment where you kind of found yourself falling in love with the sport?
That's a great question. I grew up in the gym. So my dad, Pops, who's on our staff now, he started coaching junior high hoops in Sebring years ago and that's the earliest memory that I can have of being in a gym. I can still remember the guys. I know a lot of the guys that were on that team because they welcomed me in, but I couldn't have been more than 6, 7 years old, but I can remember names. And then he went over to State Street Middle School. One of Alliance's middle schools. And I got to go over there and play with basically all the inner city kids too, which was completely out of a lot of the West Branch boys mentality, habitat there. And I got to go out and just really see what athletes were all about, and basketball at a really high level. And I can remember those days, to pinpoint an exact moment, I can't, but I just can tell you that I grew up in a gym all day, every day, all summer long, all throughout the winters, camps, everything else I got to go and be part of, and just be blessed to do it with my father too. It was something special. So I just grew up from the moment that I started. I can remember being in a gym.
The love for the sports, the brotherhood that brings us all together and keeps us coming back in each and every year, man. No doubt. Like I said, I'm excited to see what you guys have to offer this season. We here at YSN are rooting for you, and we can't wait till the season tips off. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the Heartland Christian boys basketball coach, Mr. Josh Scott.
Thanks much.